Welcome to Guzzlr.
Right, hello and welcome to Guzzlr Extra. So today we're going to talk through, the Marvel stuff, so all the stuff that Disney announced to do with Marvel, and then we're also going to talk about the Spider-Man stuff, which has been popping off recently with loads and loads and loads of just like leaks-ish, but kind of just rumors, but then kind of not rumors because some things happened. I don't know, we'll talk about it later, but basically that's what this episode's about.
Guzzlr Extra.
Right, so I've got this stuff in front of me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip past things like WandaVision, simply because we spoke about WandaVision in the past and it comes up very, very soon.
Yeah.
So first thing I'll say, but again, just let me know if we're not talking about it, is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is the first thing that Disney announced, which comes out on March the 25th, 2022.
I feel like...
Yeah, I'll say, Deck, you're a big Doctor Strange fan. Well, we all are big Doctor Strange fans, aren't we?
Yeah. I in particular am a very, very big fan of Doctor Strange. I really, really am excited for the direction this is going. I think it's definitely the right thing to do. It's going to bring a darker side to the MCU that a lot of us have been almost wanting. I feel like always the DC Marvel argument is Marvel's for children and DC's for adults because it's dark, and this is going to make it dark.
Although, interestingly, so originally when this was announced, it was announced as a horror film.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
But they decided not to do that. The original director left because they wouldn't let him do a horror film. Don't get me wrong, it is still going to be, like you say, it is still going to be darker, apparently. But the original director left because it's going to be a horror, because he wanted it to be a horror film. And then they brought in Sam Raimi, who's very famously, other than the Spider-Man films, a horror director.
Yeah.
A little bit.
That's weird that they sacked the other or got rid of the other bloke because he wanted horror, and then they brought in a horror director.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sam Raimi did do the Spider-Man films, but I think he's outside of that, he's definitely most famous for horror.
Yeah, I agree. Quick thing to add actually would be that me and you, in particular, we both thought that this whole next phase was going to lead into the Secret Invasion. We thought that this house was going to go, following on from Far From Home. Following on from when the Skrulls were brought in and stuff, this was the next big thing, the next big end game in like a couple of phases' time was going to be a Secret Invasion.
And then I think our hope, mostly because it was kind of our era of Marvel Comics when we used to read it all the time, was that it'd probably go from there into like Dark Reign.
Exactly. Yes.
So I'm hoping they're going to introduce Norman Osborn.
Yeah, and the Cosmic Cube and stuff.
I mean, a little bit of me is also hoping that what's his name? The guy who played
Willem Dafoe.
That's it. A small part of me is also hoping that Willem Dafoe will be back. He probably won't, but
it would be amazing. Yeah, it would be. But we'll get more to that later. But
I think
I wanted to mention that first because that is what we was hoping from this.
Yeah. The interest. What I wanted to say about Doctor Strange actually was that it's quite a difficult film, I feel, for Marvel to talk about because it's so linked to. I mean, they've already said WandaVision is going to play a big part, which makes sense. Yeah. And then also Doctor Strange appears in Spider-Man 3, which comes before this. And Spider-Man 3 is, I mean, definitely going to be to do with the multiverse. So I feel like there's not really much they can say about Doctor Strange.
They have said that this will bridge the gap between WandaVision and the next Spider-Man film, which is crazy because that's mad to think that WandaVision is going to play such a big part to Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. It is really properly bringing it all together. I mean, Spider-Man almost left the MCU a little while ago.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the film's completely tied to absolutely everything.
Yes, very good point. Very good point. Well, why do you like Doctor Strange so much, Declan?
I don't know. I'm a bit of a nerd for magic. I don't know. I just like the character and because my favorite is Sentry. When Sentry becomes the ultimate Sentry, it's because of Doctor Strange. So he plays a big part in that storyline where Sentry almost becomes a god when he merges with the Void. And you have all three characters in one, but it was down to Doctor Strange to play a big part in that. And I just kind of I like the dynamic he gave.
All right, fair enough.
Got a good vibe.
The next thing that Disney said was that, well, the next series that they brought a trailer out for was the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Have we all seen the trailer now for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
No.
I have.
Yeah, it feels like a Tom Cruise epic.
It does.
feels
yeah,
like it
that
should
is
be.
true. You see what I mean about the trailer? Not really like you can't really form an opinion on the
No,
show
yeah,
from
you
it,
can't,
right?
no.
Because it
It's
was just
action.
like showing off that they've got
Yeah,
a budget,
yes,
right?
yes. I literally that's what I thought when I watched that trailer. I thought, this is a big budget film across 10 hours.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said in the
Yeah.
last episode, right?
Yeah.
I said I think they were just showing off that these are
Yeah.
just going to be films, basically, but they're going to be longer and on
I think
Disney
what's quite
Plus.
enticing in the trailer is that Falcon is Falcon and Winter Soldier is Winter Soldier, but the shield kept popping up in places and they kept using Captain America's name quite a lot because it's trying to bring. Do you know what I mean? Like that, I like that.
So I'm still confused by the show. I don't know what they've said about it, but obviously at the end of Endgame, Falcon was given the shield, right? And told he's Captain America now, which is from the comics happened. I think it's like 2016, that sort of time. Sam Wilson was Captain America. But then in this TV series, he's just Falcon. So I don't really get what... Have they said something about that?
No, I don't think so.
I'm a bit confused why he's not
what I got from the
Captain
trailer
America.
is that I think that he's busy being Falcon, but he's got this weight on his shoulders that he needs to be Captain America.
Or he's like do you think he's trying to earn the title?
Maybe, yeah. Or he might be trying to he doesn't think he's worthy enough for it, I think, because there was quite a lot of...
That might be, to be fair, it probably is. It probably at the end of the series, he'll do something big, something will happen, and they'll be like, okay,
yeah, maybe so.
Now,
maybe Winter Soldier. I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
Although obviously Winter Soldier was Captain America.
He was,
for a bit as well after
was
Civil War and after Steve Rogers was shot.
He
in
was
the end.
Captain America before Falcon, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Endgame, I thought he was going to pass it to Bucky, but he didn't.
I think they definitely knew that people were unsure where it was going to go because they played that scene off exactly like
so.
that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then the next trailer they announced, brought out was straight after that was the Loki trailer. Have you seen the Loki trailer, Declan?
I have, yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Weird, right?
Very, very strange. The first, 2/3 of the trailer, I thought this is boring. Because nothing really happened. It just seemed really weird.
Not what you want.
No, exactly. Trailer. It just felt really
the opposite.
Weird. And then the last third, I was like, "What on earth is this? This is a storm."
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not a massive fan of Loki as a character anyway. Like comic wise or film wise. So I mean, it'll probably be fine, but it's definitely the one I'm least excited for.
Has a plot been announced for it? Because what I got from that is that he's going here, there, and everywhere, isn't he? Which is how the logo looks so weird. Because at the end of the trailer, the logo keeps changing over and over again. The letters keep popping up and down.
I thought that's because Loki's one of the things he's the god of is like transformation and like he's got the ability to change his face
maybe
and stuff.
That's
why
the trailer I thought it was because he kept popping up in different places, didn't he? It felt weird. What did you think of it, Dick?
It looked quite interesting. I think there was way too much going on for any of us to formulate a solid opinion on what's going to happen with it. But I like Loki in the films. I think Tom Hiddleston plays him really well, and I'm quite intrigued to see where they're going to go with it. Are they going to tie him back in at some point, or is he just going to be like Loki for the rest of his existence now?
I don't want him to come back in the films because in the films, I know he didn't really die because there's now another version of him. But I like the idea that I liked the idea that he was dead. I like when they finish characters and that's it. Because if not, I don't think there's a point in finishing characters if you're going to bring them back.
Yeah, I actually do agree with that, to be fair, but we'll just have to see where they're going with it.
Gamora is clearly going to be hanging about somewhere. And if they brought Natasha Romanoff back as Black Widow, that would annoy me as well. I
think briefly talking about Black Widow, they've said that that other girl's coming back, didn't she?
Florence Pugh.
The girl from Fight With My Family. Yeah, maybe she's going to take over the mantle, which just makes I don't know why they're making a Black Widow film. Again, I'll judge it when I'm there. It's got Taskmaster in it, who's one of my favourite villains from comics, so we'll see.
I don't know if there's a lot we can talk about this, but what if?
Yeah, I don't really know. I can't remember what the what ifs.
I think it's going to be a good background show.
It's not canon.
It's obviously not going to have any real significance to the MCU.
No.
But I think it will just be something fun that we can watch, if you know what I mean. It's just it's a nice idea, and it's definitely a money grab, but it'll be right, I reckon.
One of them is if Agent Carter becomes Captain America. One of them isn't.
Yeah,
that's what is one of them? Is if Captain America was a zombie?
Yeah.
I don't know. There is definitely there is a scene in the trailer where Captain.
I'm sure it's where he wakes up in the house and he was dead.
What if? Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, one of them is if instead of picking up Peter Quill, they picked up someone from Wakanda, I think.
Yeah. I remember the trailer now. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I don't know. That's cool. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, July 9th, 2021. Not that far away at all.
I feel nothing towards this film, and same with Eternals. I might as well just drag that in right now. I don't really have much to say about them.
No, I don't.
I think they're going to be a thing.
The Eternals is there. I don't know. The thing with Eternals that I think is, I don't know if they've also got a lot of hope in it. I don't know if they know particularly like that it's gonna. I don't know, because the cast is so big for it that I don't know.
I think people said that about Guardians, right?
Yeah, maybe so.
Before it came out, like when the first Guardians of the Galaxy trailer hit, everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is when Marvel lose the plot. Like this is it.
Yeah,
this is going to be the first Marvel flop." So I guess you just have to wait and see. But it's hard to
But the thing with Guardians is that like they had some big names, didn't they? Chris Pratt, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Zoe Saldana, and stuff like that. Yeah. And people still thought it was going to be crazy. So the fact that in this one they've got like, blimey, some big names isn't at all surprising. Miss Marvel?
Not bothered.
No, me neither.
I mean, I've read the comics. They're really, really good.
Comics.
Again, there's a lot of these things that like it's hard to get like hyped about, but when you see trailers and when we see a bit more, maybe then
in the teaser for it, I didn't feel anything.
Now, it was just like a.
It was, yeah. But there was some footage, wasn't there?
Like they've been pretty much just. Yeah, a little bit, I guess, but I don't think they were really trying to like. I don't know what they were trying to do with that little teaser, to be honest with you, but.
Fair enough. So Captain Marvel 2.
No, I don't care.
We know how you feel about this, Louis.
Does anyone know what's going to happen with it?
No.
Yeah.
Not really a clue, mate.
Eternals, as already mentioned as well. So
I am quite looking forward to Eternals though. I think Celestials might play a big part in the future of the MCU.
Yeah, I can see that 100%. I mean, I think it's definitely going to tie in massively, but like, I just don't really know. I mean, especially since, like me and Louis said, with the way we thought the MCU was going, it doesn't seem to be going. So I ain't got a freaking clue what they're doing, other than the fact that the multiverse.
But I guess that's what they want. Also, I'm under the opinion that it's too soon for the multiverse because they haven't really breached into space. You think up until at least, second Guardians really came out, that they were going further into space. Why now cross dimensions when we've barely moved? We only got Captain America in a spaceship once.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
that's a good point. To be fair,
it's almost skipping a step.
I think a big thing of it was so Spider-Man obviously wasn't coming back, and Sony. I mean, the head of Sony came out and she basically said, pretty much, we're going to do a multiverse thing. Don't worry about it. He may not be in Marvel anymore, but we're going to bring in all the Spider-Man. I mean, she didn't say that, but that's basically what she said. She was like, we're going to do something massive. This is going to be like Avengers level. So she obviously meant that. And then obviously they came back together and Spider-Man rejoined the MCU. I think Sony kind of just stuck with their original plan. So maybe a small element of it is that the multiverse has kind of been sort of dragged into the MCU. But I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? How much of it was planned the whole time.
I do find it weird that I think I mentioned to you there as well how in all these announcements there was no X-Men announcement. I think that with all these things coming forward, it's weird how X-Men just hasn't ever mentioned.
But I think
it's
it's
too
way
soon
too
for it,
big
so-
as well.
I just want to, yeah, I do agree with you, Dick. How about
Do you know what
multiverse seems quite strange
I mean?
now.
Four now, which is like a
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
My
Fantastic
phone
Four
saying
because
something. Sorry.
that's fine.
they're like they're Marvel's first family and all this and all that. They've got this massive reputation. They're established. So I get that the Fantastic Four's coming, especially with the amount of flops that they've had. But because X-Men haven't been unsuccessful, especially not to the extent that Fantastic Four films have been, it
Yeah,
would
exactly.
be absolutely delirious to bring X-Men in right now because
No, I
the
agree,
MCU is very, very strong as it is. I don't know if adding all of this, what they're planning to add, will help or hinder, but there seems to be a lot of fluff now that is unnecessary.
Yes, I agree with that.
And I feel like there's going to
I
be
agree.
way too many tangents. But I guess that's the idea of the multiverse that they're going for, because there's going to be so many possibilities. I don't know. But it just seems too soon.
No, I think that's a good point. I think the other thing to consider is that Fantastic Four, like I said in the main podcast, is like an isolated thing that you can just drop it into the MCU because they're just 4 characters. You can plop them in. That's fine. But X-Men, you have to introduce the idea of mutants, which is
True.
going to have repercussions for literally every single bit of media across the entire universe.
Mm.
Yeah, good point.
It's like a whole big they're gonna have to fundamentally change the entire universe of the MCU instead of just dropping in some characters in. I think you've got a really good point there, Deck, that like they have a chance now to take a franchise that's been, let's face it, dog shit for ages and make it a good thing, as opposed to try and reinvent beloved characters so soon. I mean, like Wolverine is gonna be so hard for the MCU to do and keep fans happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like trying to the success of Deadpool as well. Do they want to keep that on hold? And
they have announced the Deadpool 3 in the next 2 years or something.
Right.
I think they said they're starting production, didn't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I think Deadpool 3, they just do it, and then because you can write that off so easily because of the way it's done, and just be like, yeah, we're part of the MCU now, but don't worry about that or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's many ways they can do Deadpool. I think they should just crack on with that.
I think what would be interesting is if they dropped a mutant into this somewhere, just as like in the background, or mention on a news channel that they'd found mutants, but not mention it again. So it's in there.
That does sound like something they'd do, to be fair.
I think they will leave us plenty of hints throughout the next 6 years, probably, about mutants.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So Hawkeye.
Yes.
Again, I'm not that bothered.
I'm actually keen.
Yeah, I like
actually
Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm actually.
I like Kate Bishop as Hawkeye too.
I really like Kate Bishop as a character. The comics that I think they're probably going to be based off are sick. I really like Jeremy Renner, and
I like Jeremy Renner as well.
I do like
I
Jeremy
think
Renner.
it's been a bit hard done by to try and, because let's face it, Hawkeye shouldn't, within the Avengers, he just doesn't work very well. I mean, he does, but
He does.
he can't shine as much as you'd want him to, right?
You got a guy that can spit fucking lightning, and then
Exactly.
you've got a guy.
I think give him his own series, make it a bit smaller. I mean, definitely make it smaller scale. Imagine if in the series he's going to get time. Small scale.
He's fighting Kang the Conqueror.
You can train up Kate. I think it could be a really good series.
I think that's why people liked him a lot during Endgame. He got to shine.
Yeah, exactly.
So She-Hulk.
It depends where they go with it.
I'm happy that she's coming through as a character. I'm really happy that Mark Ruffalo's in it, and I'm really happy that Tim Roth is coming back as the Abomination. Because as I said in the main one,
the Abomination thing.
Yes, bringing back the Incredible Hulk. I really like that. So I look forward to seeing where that goes. But we can't really say anything else on that yet. It might lead into Planet Hulk, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see where that goes.
So there's a.
I kind of want to see where they go with our Hulk, because obviously he's injured and he's not recovering. So it's quite interesting to see how he's going to fit into it. Whether is he going to be a mentor or something alike to She-Hulk. Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with that, but it's interesting.
So yeah, So there's a She-Hulk art run by Dan Slott in the comics. Dan Slott is a Spider-Man writer. He wrote Spider-Man for like he did the longest Spider-Man art ever. He was on it for like 10 years, I think. He wrote She-Hulk briefly before, and it was really, really good. But it was quite like a small scale art because obviously she's a lawyer as well. I think that could work quite well in a TV series. But it's another like small scale thing. I think it seems weird to have Abomination and Mark Ruffalo in that. So I don't think that is the direction they're going to take it, which confuses me. So I guess we'll just have to see.
Moon Knight.
Yes, mate.
Anything?
I don't really know much about. I mean, like the only time I've ever seen Moon Knight is he's appeared in other comic
same.
series.
I don't know
that
anything
much about his character. But I think he's got like loads of personalities or something, isn't he? He's got like loads of personalities. A bit mental.
I actually don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got like quite bad like mental health, and he's like got proper different characters, and sometimes he's like vicious, sometimes he's like lovely.
That's interesting.
I think he's got like, but not even like that, like proper, completely different personas. Like sometimes he's a completely different man. I think they even have like in some of the comics they have like different names and stuff.
Have they casted him yet?
I literally know nothing.
Not yet.
Because there was a rumor it was.
There was rumors of Oscar Isaac. Yeah, but I don't think so.
No.
I think that's been debunked.
That would be sick.
Yeah. The next one is Secret Invasion, the series, which, as I mentioned earlier, is strange because we thought that was going to be like the next Endgame, and it's a series.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy.
It has to have everyone. It's Secret Invasion. The whole point of it is that every single character in the MCU.
Well, it feels like
that's why we thought it would be a big film.
I feel like when they introduced the Skrulls, it was leading that way, and then when at the end of Far From Home, when they announced that Spider-Man was Peter Parker and stuff, it would seem that one of the Skrulls would become Peter Parker and do something bad, and then he would get the blame for it. The whole thing just seemed like it was going Secret Invasion. But if this has been put into a series, I don't know how that's.
Maybe it's a throw off, and what they do in the series is going to be unrelated to the films, and the films are actually going to end up being Secret Invasion, and they'll tie in together.
Yeah, I did think that maybe the series is just like helping to establish the film.
Maybe
because like if it's just got Samuel L. Jackson in it, or that's all they've announced so far, maybe it'd be like the small scale bits of Secret Invasion, like about how the Skrulls are slowly taking over individuals, and he'll just do like bits and bobs here and there, and then that'll tie into like the full superhero thing. Or alternatively, it could be like the big finale. I don't know when it comes in the TV schedule, but it could be like the big event of the first phase of TV shows, where like all of the TV characters are in it, everyone's involved, and it's like the big event of the TV.
Maybe so. Yeah, it doesn't say a date yet, so we'll have to see about that one.
But I don't know.
Ironheart.
Is this going to be animated or not?
Yeah.
No, Ironheart's normal.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's
I think it'd be pretty good.
But again, we can't say a lot on it, to be fair, can we?
Are we going to get that Harvey kid that's in it?
No, I don't think so.
No?
It would make sense, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. It's a good
because he becomes Iron Man in one of them.
I swear they said he's going to be involved in the MCU in some way, but this is about Riri Williams.
Yeah, it's Riri Williams, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, but you're right there. I swear they mentioned.
A lot of bigger part,
in the MCU. Yeah, no, I did read that as well. I agree, but no, this is about Riri Williams, and then Armor Wars is obviously about War Machine.
That's where he might come into it then, but
yeah, maybe.
Well, the Armor Wars is about what happens when Tony's stuff gets put in the wrong hands, isn't it?
That is a pretty bad, like, I feel like that happens quite a lot.
I feel like that was every Iron Man film, like the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. And like Age of Ultron, kind of, although that's more his mistake, but like a similar thing. Like, it's just a bad description of a TV show, right? It says nothing.
Guardians of the Galaxy Hardly Special. Alfie, you said that James Gunn was fighting for this for a long while. Yeah.
Like I said to you guys before, like I felt literally when I saw this, I was like, okay, what a weird, like who cares? I literally could not care less. But then I saw James Gunn tweet and say that like he thinks this story's sick and he's wanted to do it for ages and he thinks it's something very, very special. So I'm actually
so this is the only film that isn't
keen
going to cinemas. This is going straight to Disney Plus.
This is
Yeah.
Disney Plus. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
all the other films will be on Disney Plus, but they'll be at the cinema. But this is going straight to Disney Plus, so I imagine this isn't going to.
I guess we don't know how long the holiday
No, we don't
special
know.
is, do we? Does it say it's a film?
Yeah, well, it doesn't say it's a series, so I imagine it's a film. It might just be like a 20-minute story.
Yeah, but like
Shrek the Halls.
that's what I mean. It might just be like a 20-minute thing. I mean, hopefully not like Shrek the Halls, but I know what you mean in terms of like size.
Yeah, Mary Madagascar, Shrek the
Imagine
Halls.
Shrek the Halls, but
What a
with the
film.
Guardians characters.
Yeah, I imagine it's something much like that. I Am Groot, which is about Baby Groot.
He's cute, but does he really need a series?
Luckily, it's only going to be
Yeah,
mini episodes, like shorts, because if not,
it's a collection
yeah.
of shorts, isn't it?
if not,
But-
this would be crazy. It's
Can you imagine
But
full
like-
40-minute drama episodes of just that little
Yeah.
shit running about?
like, to be fair, when I read it, I was so curious. Like that would be insane. So like, we're gonna do 10 1-hour
Yeah.
episodes.
But much
Him just
like-
vibing.
much like the What If. I imagine it's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not going to affect the story. or
Oh
anything.
yeah, 100%. I mean, this even more so than What If. I imagine this is literally just like
Yeah.
completely throwaway.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's a waste of money on Disney's behalf, though. Like, why? It has
Because-
to make
It is a
make
bit
some
random.
relevance somehow. Otherwise, what's the point?
Especially with Disney, because Disney Plus is all about like making things that make people sign
Yeah.
up or stick around, right? I Am Groot. No one's like, oh bloody hell, I better get a month subscription to Disney Plus. I want to watch them series of Groot shorts. And no one's going to be like, oh, I won't cancel this month because
Yeah,
Baby
people-
Groots are calling. Like, it's just not going to happen,
Good
is
point.
it?
Yeah, it might just be just more of a cash grab in the future. Just more people interested in Guardians, more people interested in Groot, more merchandise.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. It's probably a
Yeah,
big
it is, yeah,
merchandise
definitely.
thing, actually. to be fair.
Oh, I'm gonna skip some of these like Blade and stuff like that. We've already spoke about Christian Bale.
Yeah, because they didn't
No,
say
didn't, no.
anything new, did they? So-
Right, so the Quantum Mania, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp. So the girl who plays his daughter
Yeah.
was recast today.
Really?
Well, they think
Why?
that she was recast from Endgame to the girl from Big Little Lies, and I think she's in Booksmart as well. I think they recast to her because, well, I'm not sure. They think that because she's a bigger name, it means that she'll be bigger in the series. Yeah.
There might be a bigger role.
All right.
That's
Which is interesting.
Cool.
So that's what I heard today.
But Kang the Conqueror is the villain in that.
Yes, and Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer are all coming back as well. Which it's going to be. It's going to be a big film, especially with someone like Kang. Yeah.
That's gonna be sick. I still haven't seen number 2, or number 1. It's weird that like it's Ant-Man, then it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, then it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then another title added. Like they just keep adding
Yeah.
shit. It's really
So
confusing.
next
me.
is going to be.
So if I say it's Ant-Man and the Wasp 3, this isn't Ant-Man and the Wasp
Yeah.
3. It's Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, but it's Ant-Man 3. It just doesn't make. I'm so
Next
confused, man. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the
It'll
Wasp.
have, Ant-Man, the Wasp, and Kang the Conqueror, and then it'll be something else like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever after that, and that'll be the sequel to this, but it'll be Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 and Ant-Man 4, which will be interesting. Yeah.
And Ant-Man 4, yeah.
Black Panther 2. You want to talk about
Yes.
Letitia Wright, don't you? Who is the new Black Panther?
Yes.
Isn't she?
Is she? Have they
I
said
thought
she
she
is?
but I might just be.
She was gonna be.
They have not.
Right. Okay.
And she got cancelled.
Right.
Right. Now, here's a story about why she got cancelled. Do you know this?
You previously mentioned it, but crack on.
Yeah, but I didn't go in. I said I was talking about more here, didn't I? So, basically, she shared a video. She's very, very religious. I'll start with that. And she shared a video that was some religious guy ranting about
Right.
the COVID vaccine. Now, the problem he had with the COVID vaccine is there's something in it called
Right.
luciferase. Now, his problem with that was it has the word Lucifer in it. So therefore, the COVID vaccine is affiliated with the devil, and it's evil, and it should not be put in our bodies.
Right.
Right.
Now, when people challenged Letitia Wright and they were like, what on earth are you on about? Like, there's just something in it with the name, with the word Lucifer in it. Like, that is literally the only problem you're having. She just kept saying, so I'm not allowed to ask questions about my own body. So someone pointed out, basically, what Luciferus is it's a tracer. So it's nothing to do with the vaccine at all. Like, literally, it has no part in it, apart from its bioluminescence, right? So, like, they can tell if you've had the vaccine. It's a way for them to tell if it's been put in your body, right? It has nothing to do with the actual thing. The reason it's got Lucifer in it is because Lucifer means light bearer in Latin, and this thing is bioluminescent. It is literally, it bears light. That's why it's got Lucifer in the name. But no matter how many times people told her this, she was like, it's up to me what I put in my body. I can ask these critical thinking questions as much as I want. And everyone's like, yeah, you can ask questions about the COVID vaccine. That's fine, because you're not like, you can ask questions, but you don't, just because it's got the word Lucifer in it doesn't mean it's the devil. This is not a good question.
And something else, if
Yeah.
you've asked the question and someone's given you the answer, why do you continue to ask the same question?
Exactly.
What's 2 plus 2? 4.
Exactly.
What's 2 plus 2? 4. What's 2 plus 2?
Yeah, and then people are like, why'd you keep asking? I'm just asking questions, man. It was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I mean, like, it's probably not worth cancelling her over, because she is just she
is just posting. It's not like she's posting hate, is it?
I think the problem is, though, is that, like, there's always that argument. I mean, we've had it in the social media episode that, like, celebrities have a responsibility because they have so many fans and stuff. But I don't think it's worth like, even if she's a proper anti-vaxxer. I hate anti-vaxxers with a passion, but, like, it's probably not worth
there was
her career,
the woman who
like,
is in The Mandalorian, the main woman. I'm not sure if she was an anti-vaxxer or she was a Trump supporter. She might have been both, but anyway, people wanted to cancel her as well. I think she was an anti-vaxxer. Yeah, people were angry with her and they cancelled her. But yeah, she doesn't deserve to lose her job simply because of that. Because, you know,
it's a lengthy conversation that we won't go into about cancer. But yeah, I just thought it was quite funny that how dumb she was being. Like, honestly, it was next level.
Yeah. And then the final one is Fantastic Four, which we already spoke about. But I did want to also talk about, obviously, Spider-Man. I feel like I missed out then. Can we all do that noise again together?
Spicy
because
rumours.
I missed out on that noise. Oh.
Sure.
Okay, right.
You lead us in.
Great.
Top-notch quality.
First time.
Quality content coming from the Guzzlr boys. Harmony.
Yeah. So, Alfie, take it away. You go, mate. You start.
You want me?
No, take it away.
You away?
The topic of conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, I mean, I guess the place it began was, I feel like I'm telling a proper story.
Once upon a time.
So it all began, like 18 months ago, when J.K. Simmons was originally teased, is when I think that, like, we got hints that they were going in this direction, right? So J.K. Simmons got hinted as coming back as J. Jonah Jameson in Far From Home. And I think, to be honest, I think no one really took it that
It just
seriously,
seemed like really cool cameo
Easter
egg sort of thing.
Yeah. But, like, when it was announced, I don't think anyone really thought it was even going to happen, to be honest. I think people would just, like, take it with a pinch of salt. And then, obviously, in the end credits, when it did happen, I know I was surprised that he actually was there. Like, I couldn't believe that it actually happened. But yeah, in terms of the grand scheme of things, it was definitely just, like, seen as, like, a bit of a cameo, a bit of a cool thing. Then, like a month ago, the rumors started that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were coming back. Again, this happens literally constantly, all the time. Like, when Andrew Garfield was in the role, it was always rumored Tobey Maguire was coming back. I don't think anyone, again, really took it seriously at all. Then they announced that... Was it then they announced that Dr. Octopus was coming back? No.
Yeah.
They announced Jamie Foxx was coming back. That was, like, the first thing they actually confirmed was happening. Was that Jamie Foxx was coming back as Electro, which is just such a random, weird, like... Who cares about that, right? Without any other... Like, imagine if the film didn't have any of this other stuff it's meant to have. It was just Jamie Foxx is back as Electro.
Yeah,
That would be really fucking random, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, then then we got big rumors that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were coming back. Sony put a video on their YouTube account, on their Spanish YouTube account, that pretty much kind of confirmed it, and then it got deleted immediately. So like, there's kind of been some official confirmation. Then, what's the guy's?
I can't remember his name.
It's like Alfred
yeah.
Moreno or something. Alfred Moreno. But anyway, the guy who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 has been seen on set for Spider-Man 3 and has been confirmed to be coming back. And then there's also talks that Kirsten Dunst and what's her name? Emma Stone will also be back. So basically, it's just been absolutely mental on the front.
The thing is that they're still,
3.
which is this is all great, this is all amazing. This is the whole multiverse thing. And meanwhile, they're obviously doing one for Batman as well, aren't they? Well, with Flashpoint and all that.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Flashpoint. Yeah.
They haven't confirmed Tobey Maguire yet. They said they're still doing talks with him. And my opinion on this is, you don't want to be the only guy who don't turn up.
Yeah, no, I did think that as well. But then also from his perspective, like, it's pretty much been announced before. Like, if he hasn't signed on and then it's been leaked and pretty much officially announced, he's in a very good spot for negotiations, right? To get whatever amount of money he wants. Because like the internet
is desperate for this.
Absolutely buzzing. Sony have like committed to this now. From his negotiation standpoint,
you would hope so, right? But I hope that there's not a point where the Disney go, "Nah, you're right. That's too much," and he goes, "All right, fine," because then everyone would lose so much respect for him because they just want him. They just want him back, don't they?
The thing that I find hilarious, the guy who played Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, he's like 80 now. He's so old to be back as Doc Ock. He's literally like, I swear he's like 80 years old. Maybe he's like 70 or 80, but he's
I didn't know that.
Old, man. To get him to come back right now is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, as Doc Ock as well.
I can't remember his name. It's like
I want them to bring back Willem
something,
Dafoe.
I mentioned it earlier.
If they bring him back as Green Goblin, and maybe they can bring him back into the normal verse from the multiverse, then he can stay for all the other ones as well, because as the main villain.
Yeah, he's 67.
That's still old though to be.
He's not as old as I thought, but he's still pretty old to be like a villain in a Spider-Man film.
How old's Willem Dafoe?
How old's William? I love that name.
But so the problem is the current MCU has alluded to the existence of Norman Osborn.
William Dafoe is 65 years old.
Okay, 65. All right, fine. Yes, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, it could work. The thing is, though, if we want like Dark Reign, Willem Dafoe's pretty old.
Yeah, he is. But
he's getting on a bit.
I think that. Yeah, he is. Yeah,
they could use the Franco that they used afterwards.
Yeah, they used James Franco, didn't
they? James Franco cancelled by Hollywood though. He got like.
Then use the other brother.
I think that's why he hasn't been in anything, because he got like he was part of the like.
He was, but I still thought he was hanging about. Is he not?
Yeah, I don't know. I read about it the other day. Someone said on the internet they wanted James Franco back, and everyone started having a go at him like, he's cancelled. But I think he actually did have like proper.
Oh yeah, he's not been in anything for quite a while. Nothing worth saying. There's 4 films he's coming up in. Yeah, there's nothing that's like. Yeah, there's nothing.
Oh, did you Google it?
Coming up? I'll be honest with you.
I think he is like actually like
big shame.
I think it's a big shame. I think James Franco is actually. I think he's a quality actor.
I really like James Franco. He's an amazing actor. He's honestly fantastic. I loved him, but I mean, from what I've read about him, he's actually a piece of shit.
Can't argue that.
No.
Yeah. So. Your boys Team Spider-Man, in conclusion?
Yeah.
You'll go see it? Genuinely, if all these people come back, I'm more pumped for this than I was any of the Avengers films. Spider-Man is my favourite character by a mile. I've read pretty much every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man ever.
It'd have to be made well, though. I don't think it won't be. But it can't just be like, it can't be trash. And the thing is, this will also be forever compared against the Flashpoint, because they're going to come out around similar times, aren't they?
Yeah, but come on, can you imagine DC?
That's what I mean.
Anything ever? DC haven't. What annoys me, briefly talking about Flashpoint, DC haven't set up enough to do a multiverse.
That's what I mean.
What
the fact
doing?
is that that in the Flash movie that there's some amazing names. I mean, George Clooney's in it, Michael Keaton's in it, Val Kilmer's in it, and I think for all those massive names to be in it, and then for it to flop hard, and you go, yeah, but Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are all right. Like that's mad, isn't it? When you compare those names against George Clooney and stuff like that, like that's
that's true. But like, yeah. I mean, everyone thought Justice League couldn't flop, right? Just because it was Batman, Superman, all these brilliant characters. It didn't even make $1 billion. Because DC they didn't put any of the work in. They seem like they just refuse to put any of the work in to establish their universe, and they just immediately want the end product. Like, don't get me wrong, Thor, the original Thor film, the original Captain America, like these films weren't amazing. They weren't brilliant. But they still had time. They still had people that respected the characters. They still had some effort put in before they went with Avengers. DC had none of that.
They need a studio, don't they? Instead of just like random films, random people signing on. There we go.
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Nice one, boys.
No idea at all.
We have no idea where the Marvel
if anyone does know, let us know. It is
literally
a
not
surprise.
Which is nice, though, to be fair. Because I mean, immediately after, like, Iron Man and stuff came out, we knew pretty much where things were going. Like Thanos literally appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like we've known for quite a long time where it's. I mean, we didn't know Civil War was
direction
and stuff like that, but like, we knew the sort of general direction of it. It's nice. It is quite nice to be completely in the dark. I have absolutely no idea where they're
interesting, very interesting. Look forward to it. On Monday, we will bringing out the whole of next week. We're bringing out a podcast. Well, not a podcast, but something every single day. Content every day.
Are we? You spoke to my agent about this. I'm contracted one episode a week, sometimes an extra.
So some content every day.
# cancel Elf.
Yeah, that's it. Cancel Elf. And next Wednesday, we're doing a podcast on Christmas, and on Friday there is the.
Yeah.
Blow me.
Deck loves Christmas. You have Christmas, right, Deck?
Yeah, must be.
On
Friday we have the dreaded big extra video, an actual video. Yeah, it's Christmas Day, and it will be. It was us ranking
Christmas
tweets,
Day.
Oh, what an awful day!
And
I
look forward to seeing it again, actually, gentlemen. I do look forward to seeing it again.
I don't.
I don't.
It's a crazy time, and I look forward to you editing it, Alfie. Happy Christmas.
I definitely don't.
Yeah, there's an awful lot. There's an awful lot.
We'll
be back in a couple of days on Monday for an extra video. I'm not too sure what it's going to be yet, but do check it out. And also, Declan is bringing out a flat tour next week, which is I've seen it. It's very good.
Gang. I've only been in here for
it's good.
What, 11 weeks?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but it's coming up next week.
Yeah. You're fast
and then, as I keep saying, next year when COVID does one, we can do some great things. I look forward to be able to drink some more alcohol and try some new things. Niall has got this gin for us to try, I think, if I am correct. If he hasn't drank it, I look forward to be able to doing different things like that in the new year when we can finally see each other again.
Cute.
Worth, mate. Cool. Nice.
You gonna sign out?
Yeah.
So that goes.
See you later, boys.
Thank you for listening to this Guzzlr podcast.